Good morning, everybody. Hey, what?
Good morning. It's 8:21 before 9. Time to check in and see how your retirement accounts are doing. If you got anything in equities, a mutual fund, even if you're into CDs, I hope you're not that conservative. What we talk about here makes a difference to you and your future. See what the market's doing this morning. Let's head downtown to the offices of Statler Financial Services and Phillip Statler, who's on the line. Phillip, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Dave. Hey, doing well. Had about a little bit of fog this morning coming into work, but other than that, got here safe and sound. And yesterday was just a barn burner day, and nice looking closeout or nice looking start of the week.
Boy, was it. I mean, we started out high, and I was looking at the chart through the day. No market-moving events, evidently, because it just stayed there and kept staying up. 603 points up on the Dow, almost 400 up on the NASDAQ. Standard & Poor's up by almost 91. And those interest rates stabilizing really made a difference in the equities market, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. It was nice to see that kind of bounce after the week we had the week before.
Oh, absolutely. And I was kind of watching a couple of macro figures due to come out yesterday midday to move the market. You were watching for the construction spending number, and that was a pleasant surprise, I gather.
It was, that was up 1.7%. They expected it to be up about 0.8%. So that was better than expected, which still gives some credence to the growing real estate and construction marketplace.
Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the manufacturing numbers, the ISM Manufacturing Index, a big surprise, best number in 3 years. And another measure of manufacturing called the IHS Market Index, it had a second best in 11-year high. So, I mean, things are looking up. There's a little bit of optimism in the marketplace all of a sudden, isn't there?
It definitely seems that way. Actually, I was looking at a headline that the S&P 500, that was the best day it's had since June of last year.
Wow. Now, that's a statement with all the wild swings we've had in the last 12 months to be able to be better than that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really was. It was a nice finish to the day.
Yeah, and generally when you see a 600-point run on the Dow, you assume something earth-shaking happened, and really it wasn't anything earth-shaking that happened through the day. We start out the morning with more just interesting news coming out, and I don't know whether you consider it credible or not. Just what we need to have. Another Planet heard from. A Chinese analyst says, beware the international market bubble. Just what we need. China, the company with all their credibility on economic reports, saying, look out for a market bubble.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's face it. We don't necessarily give much credence to some of their numbers. So why would you really give much credence to the analyst? Unless you start to see other analysts fall in line with that same anticipation. Well, then, okay, maybe.
And we've had a few Chicken Littles out there talking about a bubble now for a long, long time. And every once in a while, you and I look at things and say we're not going up with any rational reason. We got to be a little conservative. Is it a bubble? Well, but China's saying that I'm not overly worried about his credibility-wise. But it's going to be on the top of a lot of market tickers today, so I figured it was worth mentioning.
Exactly. But it does still give credence to the fact that folks need to, especially the closer they get to retirement, they need to make sure that they've got that allocation between safety and risk lined up properly for their age, when they're going to retire, and those type of things. And if they don't, then a huge market correction or a bear market can really and truly throw some water on their retirement plans.
Absolutely. And when you've got even weirdos like Chinese analysts saying there's a bubble out there, that's just kind of one of those words to the wise that not necessarily running and hiding, but at the same time looking at things and saying, okay, how am I going to hedge this bet and make sure I've got some stability? It just makes good sense, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Absolutely.
Does.
Bunch of reports out this morning as earnings season progresses in the absence of a lot of big macro news this morning. Who we got today?
So we have a few retailers coming out. Target reported they beat by 13 cents a share. Revenue was ahead of forecast, and then you got to like this key indicator, and that's their same store sales.
Mm-hmm.
Their same store sales increased by 20.5% versus the 16.8 that was expected. Plus, they doubled their digital sales in the quarter. So some good things really there for Target. They're trading up about 0.5% right now.
I was going to say Target's been among the big box stores with the brick and mortar presence. They've been kind of ahead of the curve in terms of getting adventurous with the order ahead, the curbside pickup, the online ordering. They were kind of ahead of that without changing their entire business model, haven't they?
Yeah, they were, and that's been a good. They were out there kind of in the front of things, which was obviously proved beneficial to them.
Absolutely.
So the other one I have is Kohl's department store, and this one kind of it kind of shocks me, Dave. They reported a profit of $2.22 a share compared to $1 that they were expected to make. So. More than double the expectations. Revenue beat the forecast too.
There's another shoe that's going to drop here somewhere because they aren't on my big winner list this morning.
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe just some profit taking because they reinstated their dividend and their share buyback program this year. And they also gave a forecast for their sales growth in 2021. Mm-hmm. Earlier, they may be down right now, but earlier they were up as much as 1.6%. And right now, as of 8:30, I don't have anything more current than 8:30. Let's see. Nope, nothing more current than 8:30. I don't have them. I have them as unchanged really right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I don't see somebody that does that much better than expectations at the top of my big winner list, I start wondering if something weird is going on, if you had some guidance or something to tell me.
Yeah, no, at this point, I didn't see anything other than those things. And then we had Contour Brands, which is Lee and Wrangler. They earned $1.23 a share compared to the 97 cents they were expected to make. Again, revenue above estimates. They've been able to increase their digital sales, which seems to be one of those things that drives better earnings. They also gave better than expected full year forecast. So here we got some people actually forecasting what's going to happen to them. And so they're getting a big jump today, up a little over 5% this morning.
Wow. Yeah. There is some news out there. You got to have some negative news. Well, anybody miss?
So we did. So we had Novavax. It's a drug manufacturer. They are actually, and I didn't realize this till I was actually listening, reading this article this morning. They are actually close or in their third stage trials for a vaccine for COVID-19. They've already submitted all their research to the United Kingdom. And so they're working on phase 3 trials here in the United States. But they lost $2.70 a share. They're expected to only lose about $1.49. Revenue also was below forecast. So that put some pressure on them. But they are hoping that the FDA will use their British trials and grant them emergency use in May. So So we could have another vaccine out there in May. I'm kind of excited about that aspect too. But they are trading down today, a little over 4.5%.
Sounds like some traders are saying a little late to the party, folks.
Well, it could be, but there's still a lot of folks that need to be vaccinated.
Without a doubt. Yeah,
Yeah.
the other tidbit that I had on the news this morning is that the Biden administration announced that that emergency authority under the Military Emergency Act, or whatever the heck it's called, Biden is going to end up having Abbott help the Johnson & Johnson people create more of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So that'll end up giving us a better supply chain issue and maybe answer some of that problem with the people that make the bottles that you'd mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I got two more for you. I've got a company called NIO. Now, NIO is a China-based electric vehicle maker. And so they reported a larger than expected loss for the quarter. They're kind of competing. They're one of those. There's probably 3 or 4 of those really electric vehicle makers that are kind of competing against Tesla, trying to gain some market share. And they're trading down almost 6% this morning. And then
must be that bubble that Chinese analyst was talking about.
There we go. And then the last one I want to leave you with is Zoom. You can't leave a day without Zoom.
No.
Zoom reported $1.22 a share, better than the 79 cents that were expected. Revenue top forecast, and they came out and gave upbeat guidance for the current quarter. Anticipation of millions of folks continuing to use this video platform going forward. And so they're up a little over 7% this morning.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a technology that's here to stay. Resetting the table, great big day yesterday on Wall Street. Everything was up by more than 1.5%. As a matter of fact, NASDAQ gained 3 full percent on the indexes. That generally leads to a little profit taking, and given all the good news you got this morning, I'm kind of writing things off as being a quiet day based on that. 45 minutes early, where are we going, Phillip?
I think if we can keep interest rates under control for today, we're going to see some profit taking at the open. And whether that continues throughout the day or we hit some trigger points that bounce it back up, that's yet to be seen. But at this point, we see the Dow down less than 0.2%, down $50 right now. The S&P 500 is down 0.2%, a little less than $8, and the NASDAQ is down a little over 0.2%. So everything's kind of in the same ballpark there. And on the commodity side, we've got silver down about 1.2%, gold up a little less than 0.2%. Crude oil, I'm liking this number, Dave. It's up a little over 0.1%, but it's down from where it was yesterday, I believe, at $60.73 a barrel.
Yeah, I think we're right about at $62 yesterday morning at this time. So $60 get a little bit more livable. Overseas markets, Asian rim markets were generally off this morning at the close. European markets are looking at our yesterday and saying, well, let's go up a little. They're up by about 0.5% across the board. We were talking about the instability and Chinese talking about bubbles and our drug makers saying hello and goodbye at the same time. It's hard to get some stability into your retirement fund, and that stability is real important as you get closer to the date. How do I find you in order to find that stability in my retirement, Phillip?
Dave, give us a call at 863-382-0037. They can also go to our website, statlerfinancial.com. We've got to repost these videos every day, and we have a link to our calendar. And then they can join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 730.
Hey, and back here again tomorrow morning at the same time. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll catch you tomorrow, all right?
All right, man. You have a great day.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us. And remember, there's only one thing that you can control within your portfolio, and that's the amount of risk you have. If you're 5 to 10 years out from retirement or have already retired, I can't tell you how important it is to know what your risk number is and what the risk number is of your current portfolio. Give us a call, and let's walk through that process to determine what your risk number is. 863-382-0037. 0037. Have a great day. Hey, I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Bye now.